All right, I think we are live. So we'll see if, yeah, I think everything's working. So we will give this a few. We'll make sure we speak up so the microphone picks everything up. But we're going to give it a couple minutes here before the scheduled time. So it'll be a little dead air. But instead of dead air is bad. So we'll start talking. So I am Jake Lehman, publisher at V3G. Wear a lot of hats.
I'm Chris Ham, the designer of Strife, Legacy of the Eternals, and we're going to be having a grudge match here, designer versus publisher.
A death match. So this is a death match. The winner will be executed live on film. No, it's not that serious. But this should be a good match, hopefully. I had an excellent match against Chris the other day. Probably the best I've ever played this game. So the odds of it happening twice in a row are very slim. Just hope not to embarrass myself too much.
Check the betting lines in Vegas and get in right now.
The odds are
a strong underdog.
The odds are in Chris's favor, that's for sure. So first of all, thanks anybody for watching this video. And we are going to go through and play a full game of Strife. And we're going to try to comment along the way as to some of the decisions we're making, why we're doing things, give you a little inside strategy on some combos and things that as we go. We're not going to force anything. Everything is what little randomness there is in this game is going to be there. Other than that, it'll be a battle of the wits. So we'll see who comes out on top. And I think that is, we are playing, as far as any other preamble, we are playing the base game. So this does not include any of the stretch goal cards because we just wanted to keep it what we're both most familiar with from a competitive standpoint. However, those stretch goal cards are awesome and really kind of add a lot of variety and spice to the game, which is very nice. And we're sure you guys are going to like this a lot. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get started. So the very first play of the game is obviously the hardest one in any game of Strife, just because you have to make two decisions. That doesn't sound that bad, but it can be agonizing, especially when you're trying to consider what your opponent will do. So we will just get started here and start rocking and rolling. So we're going to pick Legacy Champions and Battle Champions. Make sure these are on camera. We'll kind of tell you what cards are being played and stuff just to make sure that it's going to be kind of small on the screen. Okay. Ready? So Legacy's first.
Yeah.
Monk and a monk. Oh, no. I'm afraid we both did the power play right out of the gate.
I think you might be wrong.
Okay, we'll see. So the Fate Stone goes to the highest level Legacy Champion. We're both zeros. We both played our monks. Monk is the only exception to the timing in the game currently, where his ability as a Legacy ability activates before anything else in the turn. So no matter what guys we have over here, we are both stopping the other one from using the battle abilities.
All right, show me Assassin, Jake. Oh.
No. I was going for safety. So what I did is I played the Warrior as my battle, just shut down his Legacy, just to try to cover my bases and make sure he could do nothing. And also it matches this, we're fighting at Paladin's Rock, which is the Dwarf's home location. So it gives him a power bonus when we come to the combat phase, which is going to mean this is going to be very interesting. So right off the bat, and Chris has got a 9. So if the Legacies are tied, the Fate Stone goes to the player with the highest battle champion.
Actually, it's the lowest.
Lowest battle champion. Lowest battle champion. So I start with the stone, which is very advantageous right now. So we're going to go to our battle phase. So these first couple rounds, we're going to step through the phases, and then we'll just start playing a little more freely. So battle phase, highest number activates first.
I don't get one because of your monk.
Okay, then my 7 would activate. Doesn't
get one because of the monk.
Yep. So no battle abilities. We go to our Legacy phase. We've already used these abilities with our monks, so it is basically a dead hand from an ability standpoint. Now we come to combat phase. So in combat, that's when you added any bonuses or modifiers from events or some other ability. So normally we'd be 9 to 7, but since my warrior is at his home location, It is a 9-9 tie. So what happens in Strife when there's a tie? Whoever holds the Fate Stone loses all ties. However, I have the ability to trade this to my opponent, raising its value by 1 when doing so, to claim the victory. It can only be passed once per tie, so Chris can't do it right back to me. And I will absolutely give him this stone, now worth 2 victory points, in exchange for the 3 victory points on the card. So it is now 3-0, but if the game were to end right now, he would score those 2 points as victory points. So the Fate Stone is going to get more and more powerful as the game goes on. Now we're in our cleanup phase. So we've battled here. This is going to go into our discard. These champions will come over and be our legacy champions for next turn. So this is part, I'll let you go ahead. The part of this strategy is understanding what's active for each player. So his Barbarian's up, which means he gets a bonus of VPs if he wins. My Warrior's up, which means that I can do some damage on the actual combat phase, which is very interesting. Very interesting. I don't like my options. Sometimes
well, you're not going to have more.
That's true. I think I've got as many options as I would want. I just don't want to use them now. Sometimes what I like to do is figure out what I don't want to do and go from there. So no. Yeah, no. Maybe. Yeah, that's what I'm going to play. Figured it out. All right, so ready?
Let's see.
Druid and a warrior. All right, interesting. Okay, so his warrior gets to activate first. It's a 7.
Prevent the activation of his legacy ability.
Okay, so he blocked me, which is great because otherwise we would have had another tie going on. Now he's going to be able to just claim a straight victory. However, I get to activate my ability, my battle ability, which says I may rearrange his legacy pile. So I'm going to flip that monk and barbarian so he doesn't get a big old bonus here. So now we've rearranged the monk, so the monk is back on top. However, we've passed the timing phase for that ability where he stops my battle abilities. So there's not, there are no retroactive abilities in this game. So if a timing situation like this happens with the monk, with the ranger, whatever, you don't go back in time and rewind. So I still have activated my ability successfully. So now we come to our legacy phase. I don't get one. I go first as the 7, but I don't get one because of his warrior.
Mine has occurred. 7
so now we're
6.
Yeah, 7-6, easy cheesy. He wins 1 point. I'm still in the lead, so I am okay with that. We'll move these down. So now we're going to be fighting at the Pit of Souls, the Necromancer's homeland. You'll notice in a game of Strife that the locations themselves are balanced. From a victory point standpoint, there's 3 1s, 3 2s, 3 3s, and 1 4. So we already know, that right now 2 of the 1s are we can see. So that means there's a lot of points left in that deck. And if you guys can, I don't know how well you can make that out, but the Temple of Shentilao has come out, and that is our 4, which is very, very interesting at this point. And I know because of his warrior coming out that I am going to be hard up in this fight. And definitely, I'm going to be fighting at least a 7 strength character, which is interesting. Be very careful here. No, maybe. I think I'm good. Reveal. Okay, we've got a Necromancer and a Wizard. So I'm going to go first. So I'm looking over at his warrior, just thinking through my options here. So the warrior's legacy ability is going to lower my value and let him fight as a 7, which is pretty powerful. So I think I need to use my wizard's ability. It's only worth 1, so my druid's legacy ability, while good, if I use it, I'm pretty much going to lose the fight. So I have to use my wizard ability if I want to try to win. So I will, and I'll skip my next legacy phase completely, thereby increasing my power by this legacy champion's value. So that will make my wizard a 9.
All right. I played the Necromancer. He gains power equal to the number of champions in your legacy pile. So he gains an additional 3, making him a 4. We go to the legacy phase. Mine activates first. I subtract 1, which is the victory point total from his wizard's current power, making him an 8. I have the option to substitute the warrior's power of 7 to use it instead of my necromancer, but in this case, it doesn't matter. I'm going to lose either way. So I go ahead and let him beat up the necromancer, and he takes the 1 VP.
So my strategy's coming together finally for the moment. So it is 4-1. I'm just checking here on the something on the screen. I just for those of you that are live, I did open up the chat window. So if you can't hear us or anything, definitely go ahead and post. Let us know. Or if there's anything you guys see going on. Any shenanigans, please watch Chris for any cards coming out of his sleeves, quick switcheroos.
I'm not really that competitive.
Don't let him fool you, folks. He's a former competitive Magic player, former professional poker player. Got a serious gaming mind over here against myself, who just kind of winging it. Your necromancer's up. That's dangerous. So his necromancer's up. That's why I'm kind of pausing here. The necromancer is like a Swiss Army knife because he can switch places with any other character. I'm kind of glad that he played it now, where he's only got 3 other choices. It's a little better for me. So let's go for it.
Okay.
Druid. Ooh, nice. And a knight.
All right.
Okay, so we've got some big decisions here. I'm up first since I'm an 8 to his 6. So I can move our fight to any other location. Now, normally you'd say, well, great, just go for that 4. Get it right away. But his druid's going to definitely shut down my wizard because he's going to rearrange our piles here in a second, which we'll show you. So he's going to kind of screw me over here. And his necromancer can change with his warrior. So if I went to my 4, he would lower me by 4 points here in just a moment and win easily. He's going to...
I'm going to win.
You're going to win no matter wherever we go because you can fight as the 7. So... So then now my thought, just so Brian understands what I'm thinking, I'm going to lose. So my question is just, do I want to advance this or not? So his druid will be on top next turn. Why would he use that on a 4? So that's kind of good for me. And I can get rid of it too. Oh, that's great for both of us. I'll go first. He won't. So he will have final say in the location itself. And if he's losing, he can dump this for a 1. So I don't like my next turn. So I'm going to move us down here to the Shadow Keep so that these won't advance.
All right.
So your turn.
Go ahead and put your monk on top.
Monk. So he is rearranging my pile, putting my monk on top with his druid's legacy ability. Yep. So we've already passed the timing for that, so the monk is worthless.
Okay, we go to the legacy pile. I use my necromancer at 1, fetching out my warrior, activating his, subtracting 2 from the knight. I will choose to substitute the warrior's power.
Yep.
Making me a 7 versus his 6 and claiming the 2 VP.
You got him. All right, so he got me there with a clever play. But hopefully I've staved off the a little bit by not advancing these locations. We will see. We will see. Very tough call. Remember, in a game of Strife, that you can always ask each other what cards you have left in your hand. You're always looking at your legacy piles, which are staggered, so that you can see what's been played. His Druid's active right now. My Knight's active. And let's see what happens. I feel like I made a bad choice, but we'll see. Okay, so his Paladin, my Necromancer. His Paladin's going to go. Activate your Guardian Spirit ability.
All right. I return the Druid to play beside the Paladin, activating its battle ability, which I will once again force his Monk to be on top, effectively preventing him from having a legacy phase.
Okay.
And then I will add half of her power rounded up, in this case 3 of the 6 to the Paladins, making my strength at this time being a 7.
Okay, so he's a 7. And we are fighting at the Cathedral of Light, so he's going to get that bonus when we come to our combat phase.
Assuming that I continue to use the Paladin as my champion as opposed to replacing the
True.
Warrior.
So we know he's a 7 either way, and possibly with the bonus here because his Warrior is active.
Okay.
My Necromancer is active. I'm going to use my ability to get my game power equal to the number of cards in my legacy pile, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that makes me a 6. So at a 6 to 7, I am losing. I'm okay with that because I'm playing for the long game, which is this 4. So, legacy phase.
All right. I subtract 1 or 2 from the strength of the Necromancer, making him a 4. I will choose not to use the rest of the Warrior's ability.
Okay. Making the final resolution
a 9 versus a
9 to 4.
I take 2 BP.
It's 2. So now he's back in the lead. We're in the lead for the first time.
My Druid is placed on top.
Paladin's up.
Then the Paladin is on top.
Okay, so now we're in a
Cathedral
dangerous. I am in a dangerous position, which I'll explain in a moment. Long story short, his Paladin's on top. His Paladin's legacy ability means he can force ties if I don't beat him by greater than 4. So in a tie situation, he would just pass me the stone and claim these victory points, which that is no good. That is no good. This is tough. All right. So right now I'm thinking about what Chris had left in his hand, which was his Knight, his Wizard, his Assassin,
And Ranger.
and Ranger. What are you hoping I play, Chris?
Something that lets me win the battle.
That
I have a pretty good idea what you're going to play.
Yeah, I know what I feel like I know what I should play, but I feel like you're going to screw with me. I'm going to go for it.
I'm guessing you're Barbarian.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Okay. So, and I figured he would play his Knight, so I'm glad I at least did this. So we'll see what happens here. I activate first. I can destroy the Ravager's Waste. I absolutely will, because that's a 1 cost, and I don't want to go there.
That closes in.
We advance locations. And at least we've got a board here with more points on it. So we've got the 4, a 3, and a 2. Your ability, sir.
Well, let's see. I know he has his Necromancer on top, so he can fetch. The most likely choice he would make would be to get the Warrior to reduce my Knight's power by 4, causing it to exceed the time-making ability of my Paladin. So I can't let the battle conclude at the Temple, which is the reason I played my Knight. So we will go ahead and relocate to the Tower of the Arcane. And now we go to the Legacy pile. My Paladin's ability goes active if I would lose the current battle by 4 or less. Instead, resolve it as a tie, which is fine by me as I have the Fate Stone. And now he can activate his Necromancer.
Okay, so this is an interesting decision because if I want to actually win, and that's my goal here, because even if I get the stone back, I feel like I need to get hard points first. So right now, if nothing changes, he's just going to give me the stone and claim his 2 points. However, the knight, that's no good. I could bring my wizard back and do a point bump and just get these 2 straight away, which is not bad. I could bring my warrior back. No, I wouldn't get the 2 straight away. Because, oh, I could. Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
The druid could dump it for another land. It'd still be a tie, so I could mitigate the damage. But he'd probably still, which that's not a horrible option. The warrior comes back. I'm going to lower him by 2. It'd be 9 to 6, not enough to matter. So really the wizard or the druid are my only 2 plays. If I play the wizard, I've got to get rid of a card for a minute, which is dangerous when we're this low. Because I've only got 3 cards in my hand, which means there's only 2 more, potentially only 2 more turns in this round.
Well, and it has to be one big enough to make you win by 4.
Yeah.
In this case, that would only be your ranger.
Yeah, my paladin wouldn't do it because it'd be a 13 to 8.
No, paladin actually would do it.
Oh, but that's a lot to give up right now for just 2 points. I'll do it. No guts, no glory, right? So
go ahead and rearrange.
I will rearrange first to do this in the right order. Necromancer and monk, or necromancer and wizard, rather. Okay, so wizard's on top. I will then activate his ability. Let me set aside a card from my hand. I will get rid of my paladin. So as the set aside cards go over here, just out of play for the moment. If there's ever a moment where I have no cards in my hand, I will immediately pick up all set aside cards. I'll show you how that resolves in a second. Okay, so I've done that. I've gained 4. It's 13 to 8. I'm going to win 2 points. So I got 2 back in the lead, 65.
This card, the Tower of the Arcane.
Fate Stone in Chris's hands. And we've got a 3, and a 4 on the board right now. Back to fighting at the temple.
Okay, he has his Assassin and Ranger left.
Assassin and Ranger.
I have the same hand plus Wizard.
Plus Wizard. So we've got a very interesting decision here.
Mine's easy.
I think mine is too. So let's see. Double Ranger, yes. So he is rangering. I am rangering. So what happens? Technically, it's a tie. You want to pass the Fate Stone, so you can activate first.
I do not want to pass the Fate Stone in this tie.
Are you sure?
I'm quite sure.
I will let you.
It's very nice of you.
Okay.
So I will opt to keep it.
Okay. So any tie, for any reason, he can pass that stone. He doesn't want to, which is very smart because we're going to tie here in a second. I prevent his ability from activating, and it doesn't really matter because that's what he would do to me. So this phase is over. We're into our legacy phase. My Barbarian is a passive ability of gaining VPs if he wins. So that's not going to matter. Your Knight, do you want to change locations?
I don't think I want to.
No,
I will not.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a tie, Chris. What would you like to do with that stone?
I think I will give you the Fate Stone for 3 and win the 4 VP. Hard points here at Shinty-Lao.
So that's an interesting, decision. Last turn, if I would have forced a tie and let him take 2, I might have been in a position to do the same thing to him. So that's where the depth of this game really shines, I think.
I was protected from it because I had my Knight on top.
Yep, which is very nice.
It would have given me mobility to at least push it off
2 or 3.
Shinty-Lao.
And this goes over here. So he knows what I'm going to play.
Right.
It's an assassin. So he can react. Now that I have no cards in my hand, I can immediately pick up my paladin.
Well, this seems to be my play right here.
Okay, what is it?
You're going to give me the Fate Stone.
Yep. Okay. He wants the Fate Stone back. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll keep it. Okay, so we have a tie.
In timing.
I am going to give you the stone.
I know.
Oh, wait, no. Then you're going to give it right back.
No, that's not what's going to happen.
If I give you the stone now, you can give it right back when we get to legacy phase.
No.
Yes.
Okay, show me.
Why wouldn't you do that? No, you don't want to give it back. This is tough. So we're going to have a straight tie here because we've got a mirror hand.
As it stands, I'm activating first at present. So Jake has to decide if he wants to activate his battle ability first.
So when this comes down to the tie at the end, which it inevitably will, unless you just give it to me for some strange reason. Whoever holds the stone can pass it and claim the points. So I want to keep it, so you can go first.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you chose to keep it because you're wrong about how it's going to play out. Because when my ranger returns, it's going to shut off your assassin, meaning that he will not be activating his battle ability now. And therefore, my ranger will be getting a lot of help from my assassin beating up his assassin caught out in an ambush. So now we go to your battle phase. You may not activate your ability.
Completely spaced that obvious play.
Now we go to the legacy phase.
Yeah,
he may rearrange. Not necessarily any value to this decision right here, as they're both worth 3.
Nope. So I will pass.
Okay.
He gets his bonus.
I had 6, 11 to 2, and I take
2.
the 3, going to 12.
That is not good, folks. Bad play.
And the first round is now over.
So, order of operations here. We're going to reseed and take up. So, first thing that happens is all the characters we just played comes back into our hand. That last character we each had, his wizard and my paladin, are going to be our legacy champions for the new round. Now we've got all cards in our hands. So now we got to reseed the location deck. So we will do a light shuffle here. And reveal. Oh, the temple is back out right away.
Yeah, big money.
Here we go. So I need some points, as you can tell. I'm losing badly. So Pally and a wizard. That is not good for me. This is a tough call. So we're fighting at the Kingdom of Astaria. Gives its benefit to knights. Wizard is active, which he can pump his strength. My paladin is active, which can force ties. That is interesting. Okay, I'm committed. Let's just go. Let's see what happens. All right, we got a barbarian versus a knight. Okay, so barbarian.
I'll destroy the Temple of Shinti-La.
That was not nice. You are a mean barbarian.
That's what we do.
Okay, so my ability. I can move us to another location. I will not, because I'm getting my bonus here, so which I need to make him get rid of a good card. So my paladin comes up in our legacy phase, forces ties, if it's 4 or less. So Mr. Wizard, who are you going to sacrifice?
Well, let's see. I know your effective strength at the end is a 10. And so I need to get 15 if I want to win.
So 6 or higher, which I am quite fine with.
Yeah, which you might be. So, let's see.
I think the wise play here would be to just pass.
No, I think I like hard points. Get a nice little edge.
Yeah, so do I.
So I will set aside my knight.
Okay.
To go to 17.
Boom.
And take the victory.
Okay. Very costly for him, hopefully, but he is way out in front. Never fear. This happened the other day, too.
Yeah, don't leave early to beat traffic. It's not over yet.
Yeah. There's a long game left. Hopefully, I will come back. We shall see. Interesting decisions. Dangerous. Dangerous, but we'll see.
All right.
Okay.
I got greedy.
You got greedy and misjudged me. Thought I was going low.
The word is hitting for 2.
That's true. Okay, so my warrior's up first. I say, Mr. Barbarian, you don't get an ability this turn. Ranger goes.
I would prevent the activation of his, but his has already occurred.
It's already occurred, so it's a dud. So he's got a dud hand over there, which I love. Finally getting some points. It's been a while. It's been too long. Okay, so I am getting 2 points, any way you look at it. There's really no reason for me. I can use my knight to advance these locations. There's really not a reason to. I need points on the boards. So I have 2.
Okay.
Now we got a warrior and a ranger on the board.
Now, a subtle strategy note. He said there was no reason to advance. However, if I were in his position, I would have put that on the bottom advance to the Cathedral of Light because he knows I still have my Paladin, and his Paladin is in his legacy pile. Therefore, the fact that the Cathedral of Light is in the row, while a small edge, still represents a certain edge that I have by being there, whereas the Shadow Keep makes no difference. So it was an opportunity for a small gain, and with symmetry, that's potentially a big deal.
That is very true, but maybe I knew you were going to say that, and so I'm playing a whole level above your metagame.
Very clever, sir. Very clever.
I'm really not. Okay, right, so his ranger's active, which can rearrange these, which is he can take it down to 1 or up to 2, depending on how things go. My warrior's active, so we got interesting strategies there on what's going to happen here.
I guess that doesn't really make that big a difference. Yeah, we don't care. If you do that, we don't care.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
There's one really bad out, and it doesn't really matter, so I'm not going to sweat it.
Yeah, I know. I was committed to this action, but your hesitation made me reconsider. I'm going to go with my gut here.
Right.
Ah! All right.
I'm A-okay with that.
Yeah, that's actually probably the bet. I should have picked something else. Okay, so bad play on my part, good play on Chris's part. We have mirroring activations here. I'm not going to pass him the stone. Seems silly.
Therefore, my 0 copies his 0. His 0 copies my 0.
So it's all 0, 0.
We go to the legacy pile.
And I'm going to reduce you by a 2. So it's a
-2 to 0. And powerhouses.
Yeah. And I can use my pocket 7 though. So that's what I'm going to come down to.
7 to -2.
Now, it is important to note that there are technically no negatives. So because that is important, because otherwise we would have a 0-0 tie,
right,
which I'd have to pass the stone for.
But I was expecting to lose this, so I was looking to mitigate the damage. Therefore, we will
use his ranger's ability to rearrange the locations, giving me only 1 victory point for all that effort. But I will take every point I can get. So 7 to 15.
We do have the stone.
And I have a stone, which is worth 3 at the moment. So neither of us get a battle ability next turn. Very interesting. So we've got to think for the long term. So really at this point, I'm only thinking about what's the highest number I could play to get away with a win here, as well as what the legacy ability will be next turn. So I think it's time to pull him out. I'll take whatever I can get. Okay, that's good. That's a great play. I mean, it's almost what I expected from him, and I just went for it. Could have gone lower, which in retrospect I should have, but well, it's fine. Neither of us get our abilities because the monks are both active.
Right. We
go to our legacy phase. The monks have already activated, so we're just down to a straight up fight, 9-1. My barbarian pounds face and gains 2 points.
Yep.
So I'm at 9. So the reason that was a good play on Chris's part is now he's got his little utility box back. I, however, only have the static bonus on my barbarian, so that makes it a little risky on my part. Which means he has lots of options when it comes to his turn. What cards do you have left in your hand? He has 6, 2, 7, and 4. There's mine, in case you were wondering. 6, 2, 7, and 4. What is your best play, sir? Oh, I think this. That's not my best play. So he's committed to a card. I don't think he's using his druid. His warrior could be good. Assassin is always great. Paladin could be a tricky play, but not really great because his monk's there, so it's probably not the paladin. Which means that it's probably the warrior or assassin. So the only way I beat the assassin is with my assassin or ranger. But if you went warrior, then I'm not going to get my barbarian's ability, which is definitely the safe play now that I think about it. And you're going to switch over there. So I think I only have one play.
Right.
Okay, so warrior, you get to activate first.
I will prevent the activation of your legacy ability.
So I don't get my barbarian's bonus when I inevitably win. Or maybe not.
No.
So I do get to rearrange the order of his legacy pile, which I will put your monk on top with my druid. And mitigate the damage as best I can. So we go to our legacy phase. I don't get one. His timing is already passed for the monk. So
7 beats 6. I take the 2 VP.
You get 2. So not great. Not as bad as it could have been, so we'll take it. All right, we got 2 1s on the board, which is not the best. His warrior is active, which is pretty powerful. He has a druid, an assassin, and a paladin left. I've got a necromancer, ranger, assassin, and wizard. So again, his paladin's not a great play. So in my mind, he's down to a druid and an assassin. Assassin is a pretty solid play, especially because it'll shut down that. You'll go first, which means you'll shut down my druid before I can do anything with it. If I assassin, I can get around that. Okay. Let's see. All right. So I rangered him. My ranger gets to activate first and stop his assassin's trickiness.
Okay.
Now
we go to legacy pile. I will subtract 1 from the ranger's strength, and I will opt to use my warrior's ability. So I am a 7 against his 4.
So 7 to 4. Oh, there's really nothing I can do about that. I could bring back, I could get 2 more, but that's still going to make me lose if I bring back the other 1. So you got it. By 1. These come down. Now we're fighting over Ravager's Waste, another 1-pointer. So the gap widens, continues to widen. I need some help here. He's down to 2 choices, though, so I should have a theoretical advantage.
You have your wizard and your assassin.
And my necromancer. And you've got your paladin and druid. So his assassin is up, so he's got that +6 power sitting there, which is really hard for me to overcome, naturally. And he can paladin into his warrior and assassin for all kinds of nasty tricks, which is probably what he's going to do. That's what I would do. Which I'm okay with, I think.
All right. You're right. That is the play.
Okay. So he's selected a paladin. I've chosen a necromancer. So paladin.
Use the paladin's ability to return the assassin and activate his battle ability, which I choose to do so, which allows me to exchange positions with the warrior, activating his battle ability, which I then turn off his legacy. The ranger will not be active. I add half of the strength rounded up, letting me get to an 8. And now he uses his paladin, or his necromancer.
My necromancer activates. Now, I picked the necromancer out of the 3 because this was only worth 1 VP. I wanted to have better options when it comes to this 3. So I chose to play my weaker character to have a better toolbox, which hopefully pans out. We'll see. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to increase my strength by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I will be at 8. So right now we are tied 8-8.
I add my 6, getting to 14.
I don't have an ability because he shut it down, so he's going to win the point. So we've lost the battle to hopefully win the war here on the next one, which is worth 3 victory points.
And you have your
I know what you're going to play.
Right.
Because
I'm
it
going
is
to be putting your monk on.
It is a druid, so he can rearrange this and basically negate what I've got going on here. He will activate first and have to do that. However, I've got 2 interesting choices with an assassin and wizard. Either one, I have to play my assassin because the wizard won't do squat. Yeah, I have to be an assassin. Okay, so druid, be druidy. Who do you want to come on top?
So let's see.
I think you should bring my barbarian up.
No, I think I'm probably leaning towards your ranger. That'll put you in an in strength of 11. But with my terrain bonus, I will get to 8, and it'll be a tie due to my paladin. So the play is to put your ranger on top.
Okay. So he is going to put my ranger on top. Very good choice. Now I'm going to activate my ability, and I am going to switch. So it is, I activate his ability, which stops that. Already happened, doesn't matter. We come to our legacy phase. Paladin's got the passive ability to force ties. My assassin gives the +6 power, so it's going to be 11 to 8 because we're fighting in Ethel Yar, the druid's home location. So it is 11 to 8. I technically win, but the druid or the paladin says it's a tie. I'm going to force it, hopefully get it back. I want the points. So I'm taking 3 because I so desperately need them. It is now 12-18. So I'm closing the gap a little bit, but the stone is worth 4, and he has it. Not good for me. All right. So this goes here. So we're at the end of the round again. So all these cards come up. Our last remaining champions are going to be our legacies for the next round. We need to reseed the locations and go from there. So let's see. See what we got. His starting is the knight. Mine's the wizard. So that,
Temple right away.
oh, wow. Every round. That is, that's not good, actually. I don't like having my personal preferences for the temple always to come at the end because that way your choices are a lot more defined and I can try to more aptly strategize for those points. But with this many cards in our hand, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Yeah. All right.
That seemed like it was definitely the
Yeah,
play.
it had to be a good play, right, for both of us. Okay, so we both used our warriors. So you're up. I'm up
You're
first.
up first because I have the stone.
Do you want to pass the stone?
That's an interesting thing to consider. Let's see. If I pass the stone now, we're going to wind up tying in the battle for sure. The question is, would you send it back at 6? The question is, do I want it at 6 or do I want the hard 3 giving you 5? If you take the hard 3, I go to 21 and stick you with the stone at 5, which it's unlikely to come back in the 3rd round at 6. It could happen. And put you at 17. So 21, 17, leaning on you with the stone. Or likely get it back at 6, going to 24, with you at 15, but burdened by the stone.
It's a tough call.
I think I'm going to let you activate your battle ability first.
Okay, so I will shut
This
down
could be the key moment in the entire game. If he's able to come back,
from a swing
this
like this.
will
Yeah.
be the decision 7 battles from the end. So good luck figuring that out when you're playing.
Yeah. All right. So so I'm gonna absolutely stop your knight from moving this around.
Right.
You're gonna stop my wizard.
Exactly.
So now we have a tie.
We had the train in, 99. I will ship the stone at a 5 and take the hard 3 VP.
Okay, so that could be huge if I can play this round really well. We will see. Thankfully, I'm glad that he at least played his warrior 2. It's a dangerous one to have in the opponent's hand because it could shut down legacies. So now we're both playing at a pretty even level. It's really who can play the smarter play right here. I think that's gonna, to me, decide what happens. Oh, lots of options, lots of options. Lots of scariness, too. We're both going to be able to be 7s, so we can both force a tie, at the very least, which is dangerous. I do not want to tie at this point. Ties are very bad for me, so my goal is to not tie. Absolutely not tie. Wow, so like, yeah, not tying is harsh because you got to then start thinking about a lot of things because there's a lot of penalties going on with the dwarf being active. He's going to lower things by 4. It's very the warrior there at this particular time is very powerful. Very powerful. I think I have 2. Man, I got there's 3 things that I want to do. What are you going to do, Chris?
That's a tough one.
I think you should play your Necromancer right now.
It seems like a pretty likely plan.
So hopefully Chris is going to play that Necromancer, which will be stellar for me. I somehow doubt it. What'd you play?
My Necromancer.
Sweet. So since he definitely did not play his Necromancer, oh, this is a gamble. This is a gamble. If I gamble here and I'm wrong, the game is probably over. I really need these 4 points.
Debating your Ranger?
No, not really. Not technically, though that's a great play. I'm debating if you played your Ranger, truthfully.
Well, that'd be a very bold play.
It would be a bold play. It would be a very smart play because I need to do something aggressive to come back here, which is the. I'm just going to tell you guys what I'm struggling with right now. So I'm really struggling between my Assassin and Paladin, both good options, unless he played his Ranger. Then I'm screwed. If he played his Assassin and we played both Assassin, we tie again, bad for me. Very bad for me. Paladin is interesting. I may have an edge if I play my Paladin, technically. No. Yes, I would. I would have an edge if I played my
Unless,
Paladin.
of course,
Over
I
an
played
Assassin.
my Assassin or my Ranger.
No, I think I'd still beat you with Paladin because I could dump whatever I wanted with my Wizard.
Not
Oh, that's true because we both shut him up. Because I would go first. I don't like this, Chris. I don't like this at all. Have mercy. If I judge wrong here, I am screwed. I'm taking way too long with this decision. Again, why I don't like 4s coming up at the beginning. Okay. Ah, interesting.
It is interesting.
That is interesting. Okay. Paladin versus Assassin, just so everybody knows. His Paladin's up.
I return my warrior.
Shutting down my warrior.
Shutting down his warrior.
Okay. Gaining half the power, so you're at a 7.
Correct.
So it is 7-2. My ability triggers. I feel like I'm going to win, but not the temple. Okay, so I will absolutely switch. I have to. So my
You're gonna win the temple.
Oh, I am going to win the temple because I'm going to shut down your knight.
Yeah.
So my warrior is going to then, as soon as he comes back in, activate his ability to shut down the knight's legacy. So now we come to our legacy phase. Just so we know, we're currently tied 7-7. Come to our legacy phase. He doesn't get his ability, and I get my +6. So I'm going to win 13-6, 7, 13-7, 13-8. Can't do any basic math. So I'm going to win the 4 that I desperately, desperately needed. That was huge. So now my goal, just so you guys understand where we're at, I've got 16, he's got 21, but I have the stone at 5. So we're tied, which is great for me. So all I have to do is play to win, about half of these battles, and I can be victorious. However, he's got the edge for the rest of these matches because of this stupid stone. Because he can just force ties as much as possible. His Paladin right now is going to force a tie. So he's got lots of ways to completely screw with me. and which is dangerous. So let's see if I can overcome it, because that is going to be hard to sit on.
Yeah, you don't want to send it back.
I can't send it back. So if he can play that to his advantage, it is potentially huge. So his paladin's up, forces tied, no warriors up. That is tough. That is tough. You can play.
My necromancer.
Oh, good old necromancer. Would be a bold play.
It would be.
I would approve of that play. I'm really afraid you're gonna ranger me if I do what I want to do. Which you need. You need me to make a mistake. However, what's your best play? You've got to go. You have basically no legacy other than the force of tie. So your best play is to go as high as you can to force the tie, I would think. Or your assassin. And that's never a bad play, because your assassin would be all kinds of freaking tricky right now. So we both kind of expected the other one to do something super tricky. I'm very sad, because I'm glad at the same time. So I'm sad that I wasted my ranger, but he did too. So I'm okay with it. So let's go through this. We both, well.
Do you want to pass the stone?
Then you have to pass it back to get any points.
No, I'm pretty happy with 27 to your 18.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep this down.
I thought you might want
to. You go first.
Okay, I prevent the activation of his ranger, such as it is. We go to the legacy.
Legacy. So I'm gonna lower him by the location, so 2. So it'll be 5 to 3, and I can fight as a 7, so I will, which is 7 to 3. However, it's still within 4 for the paladin.
Paladin forces a tie.
Have your 2 points.
That's what I thought.
Not good. Not good for me. All right, so I should have played a little more aggressively. I almost went with my barbarian. I should have. Oh well, live and learn. Now we're fighting for Pit of Souls. It's a 1. Not great. Let's see what happens here. Rangers are up, so we can rearrange, which is very good for both of us.
Now, I need to be aware of the fact that we both have our rangers on top, and he has the stone, meaning I will have to go first. So he has final say on terrain unless I do something to remove his ranger from having its ability. So that's always important when you're trying to decide if you need to win the battle, if you're going to win the battle, whatever. And I've thought about it.
I'm sure you have. I'm actually very sure you have. See, I don't think you're gonna do that. What a waste. Looking through the piles to see what's been played. So there are definitely 2 more 1s in that deck right there. So every point matters right now. Can't just give it up. That is a bad play. Or is it? Or is it? That's what I say. No, that's a bad play. Okay, so crap, Chris. Crap. Okay. All right. That's the see. Okay, so he guessed. We feel like he's mind reading me right now. So he went with this barbarian. Horrible again for me. It means I'm going to give him a point. Long story short. Do you want to activate first? I mean, you're going to. I'm not going to stone.
So let's see. Considerations. There's already 1, 2, a 4, and a 3 in there. Do I want the next? Do I want some goodies to come off the top? I'm going to force the tie. So realistically, he wants it to be as low for me as possible, meaning it's a 1. I want to hurry those 1s out of the deck, so I will destroy.
Okay. Let's see what we get.
Tower of the Arcane.
And it is a 1. All right.
You have the option.
I am not going to destroy anything. I want points on the board. So I'm cool with, but that means the next battle is a 3. Now I must think ahead, folks. 2 options. I may want to destroy that 3 after all, because I'm afraid he still has his assassin left, which is very powerful. Which is very powerful. I'm really worried about him getting these 3, not this 1. That's what I'm struggling with. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to be bold and leave it.
Okay.
So now we come to our Rangers. Would you like to rearrange anything?
Well, you get to decide after me anyway, so I would just soon not tip my hand to what I would like it to be and put the entire onus on him, given that he can undo whatever it is I do. So go ahead, Jay.
Okay. I wish you would have touched the cards. So I might have some clue as to your plan. But I don't think it matters. Neither one of us has used our Necro, so let's get that out of here. We both use our Rangers. So I'm going to leave it where it's at. I'm tempted to move the 3 back, but I'm not going to. I may not be thinking this through all the way, but I don't think I want to. I'm going to leave it there.
Okay.
So you win 1 point.
Tie, and he opts not to give me the stone. I take the 1.
Okay. So this is huge. This is huge because we both got our bonus here. This will blow it open. It will at least. If I win, it's going to make it really tight on him the last couple of hands. If he wins, it's all but done. So let us consider what our options are. Can I see your hand, please?
Sure.
Monk, Druid, Wizard, Necro, and Assassin. I have Monk, Druid, Knight, Necro, and Paladin. Okay. What are you going to play?
I'm sorry, you have Monk, Druid, Knight, Necro, and Paladin. Okay.
So we are playing basically with just battle abilities, which makes it very hard. Neither of us have our Ranger active, so we can't stop the other person from doing whatever we want to do. We also don't have our Warriors active, so we can't stop the Barbarians. We both do have our Druids, which can screw up the other person's legacy. And is the home location now. So this is the 3 Netheliara, where the Druid likes to be, which makes that very interesting for both of us, actually. That is a tough call. You just want to pick what I pick. That's all you really care about right now. So.
Well, I feel a lot better that you don't have your assassin. That's kind of a big deal.
Yes, it is. There's lots of interesting choices here. So, will you play that? No, I don't think so. Will you play that? I don't think so. Maybe. No, you wouldn't. Can't. Maybe. I think that's your best play.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't tie you. That's harsh from my strategy standpoint, because it almost means my Monk is a dead card.
To a certain extent, yes.
With her current legacies. Yeah. So it's almost like playing a card down, which is why this is exceptionally hard. I'm expecting, honestly, a Druid. don't know if I can beat the druid.
Sure you can. Your paladin beats a druid.
But if you want me to play my paladin,
That's exactly what I would have said.
what would you have said? What do you have that beats a pally? Your monk
Wizard.
doesn't beat a pally. No, ties the pally. No, it doesn't beat the pally.
No.
Your wizard doesn't beat the pally.
Yeah, it does. It'd get to 12.
Your wizard does beat a pally. But then I just rearrange it to the 1. Not great, but not the end of the world. Your druid. All right. Okay. All right, assassin.
You're up first.
This actually works out really well for me, right? Am I crazy?
Does it?
I don't know. I'm so nervous.
Well, let's put it this way. You're going to lose the battle.
Yeah, I am going to lose the battle. Am I?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Well, I'm pretty sure that my 15
Are you sure on that math?
is going to beat your 9.
Yeah.
And your ranger is going to give me the
Totally.
endless green.
I totally should have. And no, I don't think any of my plays would have stopped the assassin. So does it matter? It's all. Yeah, I mean, I got to get access to my ranger. So I bring the barbarian out. I do not want to destroy the endless green. I want that there, obviously. I'm gonna get 5, so I'm gonna be a 9. So I'm currently a 9. Mr. Assassin.
All right.
Do your thing.
I return the barbarian. I do want to destroy the endless green.
Of course you do. But it does bring up the other one, which I am very thankful for. 50-50 shot.
All right, we go to the legacy pile.
So I'm going first. Absolutely. Hey, you know what? Might as well even give you more power.
That's
Here.
the spirit.
Have some more power. And before I finish this placement, I need to think real quick. What's going to be active next turn? Your barbarian and my paladin. That's bad for me.
It is bad for you.
That's very bad for me. That's really bad for me. I will keep it like this.
Okay. Add my 6.
You win.
Win.
Okay.
1.
All right. So these come forward. We're fighting at the Shadow Keep now. And we got points on the board. So my paladin is very, very, very awful right now just because it forces ties.
What are you sitting there holding?
I've got a monk, necro, a druid, and a knight. You've got a necro, monk, druid, and a wizard. Interesting. So forcing that tie, not good for me. Almost no way I can beat him by 4 in my current deck unless he was to do something really weird, but I don't even think it's possible. Even your worst plays will bring us within that equilibrium. What is your best play?
It's probably either my necro or my wizard.
Although your monk isn't bad at this point. That's the thing. Your monk is a pocket tie.
Is he?
Right? I mean, it's the same reason I can't play mine, which makes yours great. But we've got these next 2, which could decide it. So you have to save some power. Arg. I feel like I should be risky here. Ah, crap, dude.
I assume that's your knight.
Nope.
No. Okay.
Okay. Nope. I played my druid instead. I couldn't save her.
Totally okay with that.
I know. I just couldn't. I couldn't let you have the extra 3 victory
Well, this is
points.
why I had to play my wizard, Because if he plays his knight, even if I play the monk for the pocket tie, he'll roll us down here and gain the terrain bonus and cause the win. So
Yep.
my monk could not be played at this time.
So that's your, so I got to go first.
Sure.
You're absolutely.
And there's nothing he can put on top that's going to shaft me out of this.
Is there? Yeah, there's nothing. Right?
The worst I can do is an 8.
Yeah.
The only thing lower is my assassin, which gets me to 9.
Wrong. I can get you to a 7.
Either way, that's true.
But you still
at which
win.
point I still win.
You still win. Because even if I bring your assassin up, you're gonna just use his ability.
Right.
And you'd be a 9. So the 7 is the lowest I can get you. And it doesn't give you any bonuses, and the Ranger's a dead card too.
The Ranger gets me to an 8.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll bring your Paladin then.
Okay. All right, I will choose to forego my legacy phase and get to a 7.
So 7 to 6. We both force ties. We have tie.
We don't have time. Oh,
7 to 6 on the combat phase.
sure.
But
sure.
both of our legacies force the tie. So it is a tie.
Well, your legacy forces the tie.
Correct, because I
you're
lost.
losing by less.
So
I don't think you're passing the stone.
I'm going to give you this. No, I'm not going to do so. Take your 2 points.
So there's my 2.
All right. So now it really comes down to these last 2 plays. If I don't win them, I've lost. If I win them both,
You lose.
I win.
That would give you 27.
We tie.
You just put that there.
Oh, I'm cheating,
Right. We would tie,
which means I lose.
which means he loses.
But I'll take that as a Pyrrhic victory.
He has exactly one possible way that he can win, and it involves either using his barbarian somehow, which he can't access right now, or using the druid to bring back a higher value location. So therefore, clearly
let's play with our cards on the table right now.
clearly my play is to go druid.
To mess this up.
I don't even care as long as he doesn't get it. Although I could go necromancer and ensure my win of the battle with the wizard.
Your wizard ability.
Right, by pitching off my
Which is not a bad.
that would be my play. So
You're committing to that. I don't think
you have no answer to that.
I do have an answer to that. No, I don't.
No, you don't.
Because even my knight.
Because I'll do this. Even if you give me a 1, you can't get there next turn.
Okay, hold on. So you're committed.
Sure.
Which means I will get to use this. So is there any way that helps me? No, because you can dump that.
What's important is I play after the druid.
Yeah. So you can always pump
If
your
you
power
load-
to
yeah.
win the thing.
Right.
Why are you making this so hard, Chris?
It's really not that hard at all.
It is. Because I feel like there should be an out here, but there may not be. So if I mean, my play would be to do this just so I can have access to that barbarian next turn.
I don't think that's what you want to do.
No, because you're just going to play your druid and kill.
I won't play my druid and we'll tie, which is great for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you can tie you to these 2 cards. So I think I have to force you to dump a card. What? Yeah. I almost want to go monk. No, then you just win easily. Okay, knight.
All right. So we go active, or you get to relocate us.
I will not.
You will not relocate
Well,
us.
maybe I will. What's your power going to be? 1, 2, 3,
8.
4, 5, 6, 7. You're going to be 8. I have to relocate us. I just didn't want to give you the druid bonus next turn, but yeah, we'll go here. Okay.
All right. Now we go to the legacy pile. Well,
You activate
become an
yours,
8,
so
yeah.
8. So it's now 8 to 8. So technically a tie, but we're at my location with the kingdom. So
now
10.
you have a problem.
If I stay here, you have to burn your druid to win,
Right.
which puts me in a better position next turn.
Well, you need 7 points right now to beat me. So even if you switch to a 1, you need
Then it becomes
8 points.
harder.
It becomes impossible because your knight will be on top and not your druid.
So I will.
Either outcome ensures my win.
Yeah. I will keep it as is.
Okay. Well, then I will go ahead and pitch and go to 30.
Not to 30.
Well,
Your power is not that.
I will go
Chris.
to 14 power.
14 power to my 8
To
and
eventual 10.
to my 10.
And my 3, and my score will go to 30.
30.
So you need 9 points on this.
Which is impossible.
Right.
But we'll
So
play it out.
normally the game we would just scoop at this point, but since it's the last battle, we can go ahead and play it out.
Because I'm still going to win. You only have 1 card. You have to play
It's
it.
my monk.
It's your monk, which I can beat.
Can you?
Maybe. Yes.
I don't think you can.
I think I can.
Okay, so we resolve battle abilities. His necromancer becomes a 9.
9 power.
I copy his 1, so my monk is a big beast at 1.
9 to 1.
Now we go to the legacy pile.
Mine's dead because I can't move.
Right, there are no battlefields to plow it under in advance. But I have my necromancer on top. Oh, this is back in my hand now immediately because my hand is empty. So let's see. You got to 9.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I will just use my necromancer to get my warrior.
Oh, yeah.
Activate my warrior's legacy ability.
Pocket 7.
Subtracting 3, reducing him to a 6, using his power instead, becoming a 7, 7 beating 6, and taking the final battle as well.
Mm-hmm. So he's got me. So, game is over. Well played.
Good game.
So if in looking at a game of Strife like that, even though the final score was 33 to 21, was where I would end up. So I would end up at 21 and holding the stone. So lost by 12 points, which in a game of Strife isn't that big of a deal because really, as you saw at the beginning of the 3rd round, we were tied for a dead heat. And even into the first 2 or 3 plays, it was still anybody's game.
It was with 3 battles to go. He still had an opportunity to win if the exact combination of things played out.
Yeah, I think my failure was when I played this paladin and you played your assassin.
That pretty much sealed it for me.
Yeah,
because
So
it
I
pinned
probably-
you under your own paladin.
I shouldn't have done that, and maybe I would have had a better chance to claim some of those points. Which is why I personally love the game. It's why I fell in love with it. You know, at the very first design meetup when Chris and I met. The game's got so much replayability. Even when you lose, there's still great things you did. I came back from a huge deficit to tie it up in the 3rd round. I can see the decision that I failed at, so that next time we play, you just get better and better at making those decisions and trying to outwit your opponent. And it's just got so much replayability in so few cards, which is just outstanding. Anything else you'd like to say?
No, I think it was a really good match. Again, although the final score was a fairly large margin by Strife, tendencies, I had to be very, very careful down the stretch because if he turned it on me or I got out of position, then you can find yourself behind the 8 ball with no escape.
Which is what happened in our last game Saturday,
Right.
Because it came down to the 3rd round again. It was really tight. And I think it was one play, like 3 or 4 into that 3rd round, where you guessed wrong.
I made a small mistake on choosing not to pass the stone at like a 7, and he made up the 7 of the stone and like another 10.
Yeah,
it was ludicrous. And 6 moves deep in the end, I looked out and realized I had to do something crazy. Even though if I didn't do it, I definitely lost.
And you could.
If I did do it, there was an opportunity for him to play badly and allow me to win.
Yeah.
So 6 moves deep in a card game this small, that's pretty far out there as far as strategy goes. So.
Yeah, which is great. Which is why I like it. Even though I think it's a game that even two opponents at different skill levels, which we definitely are. Chris has played it more than anybody in the world, so it still can be a good tight game. And even when the score is different like this, it still was a great tight game.
Sure.
So I think that I think this is going to be find a lot of time on a lot of tables. Hopefully in the future. I know we're planning on running some tournaments and some cons for it. I think it's got a lot of life and legs to it, so we're excited. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks everybody who's backed and supported us so far. We've still got several days to go, plenty of stretch goals to earn, and other card types that you guys didn't see here. We've got events, which would be sitting over here by our discard pile. That would be affecting the whole round. One event per round, basically, right. And they kind of adjust the rules a little bit. But you both know what they are, and you know the order they're going to come out in. So there's no surprises. Again, Strife is anti-surprise,
except for the reveal.
Except for the reveal, which is the best surprise in the world.
And if you're surprised at that, then you may be losing.
Yes, that's true. Hopefully you're not surprised. And then the other card type that we just we're working on our first stretch goal for our second card type, which are remnants. So that was another option that will be worked into your location deck to add a little bit of variety here. So normally these locations have victory points and a passive ability power bonus to champions. Remnants are going to add, they're all currently 1 VP, correct?
Correct.
So they're low in VP value, but each one has a very strategic ability that if you win the location, so if this were a remnant, let's just say this one was a remnant, I won it last turn, it would go in front of me. I'm able to then, according to whatever word, ability text was on its particular card, I could then activate that ability during my next turn, during my battle phase or legacy phase, to gain some kind of bonus to help me in the next fight. So they're low in VP, but high in strategy and value, potential value.
Exactly.
Which really adds a whole nother level of interest. So we're really excited about that. I'm excited about what those things are going to bring to the game and really complete the Strife experience, if you will. But that's why, one of the things that's been so fun to develop with Chris and watch him and as he's designed these things. Starting with the base game, we didn't build this monster, then deconstruct it to come up with fake stretch goals and stuff. We had a solid game probably 4 months ago as far as rules were concerned. Maybe even a little longer than that. We've tweaked the wording on the abilities, but by and large the abilities have been solid probably for 5 or 6 months. And then it was my challenge to him to, hey, what else you got in your book of ideas there that we can add and spice things up to really add interest. And I think between events and remnants, it's a marvelous way to add interest and replayability, especially for those that will play this a little more casually. It'll be the infinite options. You'll never play the same game of Strife twice.
He caught me so early in the process at that second playtest design meetup that I had ideas for events and what are now called remnants, but I hadn't even begun to progress that far because I was still in the process of balancing the base game itself. And so, this game probably entered development earlier than almost any. It was it was still on index cards.
Yeah, when we first played, it was index cards, and it was still great. I mean, the game was there. It was just the polish. And I think over the months, I think we've worked really well together. Chris has done a great job on the rules and abilities and just the package itself has really come together really nicely. Obviously, getting a good response from you all and the gaming community in general. We're really excited about the potential. And I think I wasn't going to do this, but I think we're going to throw a little stinger here on the end and maybe hinted it in an update or something for those of you that actually watch this video to completion. You should be rewarded for your effort, right? So you saw Chris destroy me. Unfortunately, there will be no death on camera as promised initially. So the best we can do is maybe give you a little teaser of the future. Very light, because I don't want to spoil anything, because this is still in baby incubator stage. But the grand vision for Strife is not to do expansions. So that may disappoint some of you initially. However, we've got a better idea. And it is actually a much better idea because this is a game so small that adding expansions, adding a few cards or whatever, I mean, at that point, you're either not adding enough value for it to even be worth it financially for anybody, for you to buy, for us to make, whatever, or you're adding so much to the game that you just changed it completely. You can change it into some other beast. So we are going to do sequel games. So we're already successful. We're already funded. We're doing really well on the Kickstarter. So I think we're already, definitely going to commit to Strife #2. So the sequel games will be the same core mechanics as far as actual gameplay. But that's pretty much the only similarity. It's going to be still World of Aram, which is what the World of Strife is called. But we've got a really cool idea for our theme, and I'm going to go ahead and spoil this now. I'm not going to get into any card types or abilities or stuff that we've already been discussing. There's some really cool stuff coming. I'm amazed at how many things Chris can come up with within this mechanic and mindset. He's got some really great ideas. I think you guys are going to flip out for it. They're stellar. The next theme will be steampunk, and if you think about our story, our meta story here with the World of Strife, the Eternals that you are playing as. So we're each playing as an Eternal, which is kind of like an immortal. And there's only a few of us left, and so we fight from the shadows using these champions from the world to fight our battles. Well, guess what? If you're an Eternal, that means you're around for a while, especially if you can keep squeaking by. And so for expansions, we wanted to not do just fantasy 2.0. We wanted to really progress the world, progress the story of Strife in a physical sense when we get to that point, but really show that progression that, hey, you're an immortal, so you're still around, but the champions have morphed. They've changed over time, right? So it'd be like to visit this world of Strife 1,000 or 2,000 years later, and then who knows after that? So there's still upwards and onwards from that. So we're really excited about that. Hope you guys enjoyed that little spoiler. And from there, I think that is going to do it for this live broadcast. It was a pleasure to not only play Chris again, but to do this for you guys.
Absolutely.
Been enjoying this Kickstarter ride. So thank you, each and every one of you, for your support. We really appreciate it. Without you guys, we could definitely not do this.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So thanks again, everybody, and we will see you in the comments.
All right. Bye.